Back in 2018, my husband Boyd and I decided that we needed a change, a big change. And if you've seen any of our other videos, obviously there's a lot of reasons we needed a change. We were both in pain management, we needed to get off narcotics, and we needed to change our life desperately. So we sold our house and we sold a lot of our furniture. What we didn't sell, we gave away. And what we did is we moved to Thailand. Now, this is something we had did research on, and we decided that Thailand was the right fit for us. And not everyone, of course, can do this. But by doing so, we inadvertently became minimalist. And today I wanted to talk to you about the benefits of becoming a minimalist. Hi, my name is Michelle. Welcome to our channel, The Freedom Habit. Minimalism isn't just about decluttering your house. It's about making room, making space for things that are really important. Whether you want more time or freedom or clarity or space, minimalism could be the key. As I had mentioned, Boyd and I sold our house and downsized and moved to another country. Now, there's a lot of people who have houses that they have simply are just too big for them. You're walking around. I mean, how many people have at least a one car garage, if not a two, where they can't even pull their car in because there's so much stuff in that garage? And I can remember growing up, my mom would be like, all right, this Saturday we're cleaning out the garage. And I know that there's so many families just like us. Like, seriously, what are we keeping in the garage? I mean, why do we have so much stuff? I feel like we are compensating, like I know for myself when I used to be having a bad day, so I'm like, you know what, I'm going to go out shopping. And I would go to one of my favorite stores, look for some sales, and purchase some small things, not spend a lot of money. That's what I would tell myself. I'm not spending a lot of money. This is okay. But the truth was is I was just continuing to bring more stuff into the house that we weren't using. So one of the benefits of minimalizing is saving money. You're not going to be out there, it's almost like when we downsized, like I naturally just stopped wanting to purchase things that we no longer needed. Well, first, we don't have the room like we used to, which has completely helped me cut down on shopping. But also, it changed my mind. It kind of reprogrammed how I feel about material items. And I noticed that I'm not as impulsive. I'm not an impulsive shopper like I used to be. So not only did it change the space around me, it also changed my mind. And it gave me peace. The less I had to be worried about, the less I had to lose. I mean, people spend 5 to 20 minutes daily looking for things they've lost, their keys, their jacket, their shoes. Yep, so for us, we are in a one bedroom apartment and it's just the right size for us. Another way that you can benefit from minimalism is decluttering your closet. And I know I myself, and I have a lot of friends who do this a couple times a year anyway, pulling out clothes they no longer wear. But I think when we're more intentional about downsizing our wardrobe, we'll be more intentional about what we purchase to go into it in the future. And how about that someday myth? How many things do you have in your house that you have put away and you're like, someday I'll use this? Like fine china. You have that put away in a cupboard and you're like, someday when I have a party, I will use this fine china. Or you have some beautiful outfits in your closet and you're like, someday when I go somewhere really nice, I'm going to wear this outfit. And really, how often do we get to use those things? That fine china sits in the cupboard for years before you finally get to use it. Or that outfit that you purchased. Maybe you wore it once or twice because it was so dressy you didn't want to wear it anywhere else. Well, what we could do is maybe you could create an occasion to wear that dress, start wearing it around the house, certainly get use for those things that you purchased money for. But the truth is, someday never comes, does it? We don't get the use that we thought we would out of those items. And granted, they're wonderful to have, they're beautiful, but the truth is do we really use them as much as we think we will? Chances are no. So minimalism isn't for everyone, and I understand that. It wasn't something that I had intended on doing. It kind of just grew on us after we sold our house and moved into a smaller apartment. We hear that saying, he who has the most toys wins. I remember hearing that growing up. Well, how wrong is that? Because that's not true. And I think that's where we get the idea that the more we have, the better off we are. And that's simply not true. I found this interesting too. Most people, their bedrooms are the most cluttered. And with that comes disrupted sleep. Like you don't sleep as well when your bedroom is cluttered. I had no idea. I thought that was interesting. I read that today, and it was talking about how you should declutter your bedroom because that is where you lose the most sleep, when you're surrounded by clutter and things that you don't need. The essence of minimalism, it promotes conscious decision making on belongings, relationships, time, energy, money. Like the truth is we started making decisions about our belongings, and everything else seemed to just start happening on its own. Suddenly, my time became more important to me, my energy, and my relationships. And I started looking at everything in my life and making decisions about those as well. Do they serve me? Are they important to have around? Do I use them? How often do I use them? Will I need them in the near future? So, it's just something to think about. It's a way to start making decisions about your life, and it'll actually create quite the domino effect that I think you will appreciate in the long run. So remember, minimalism is not about deprivation. It's about intentionally creating a life with less chaos, less stress. Your cortisol will go down. It's about creating a life with meaning, clarity, joy, and peace. So I hope I've given you some tips today on how to become a minimalist, if I can say that word right, how to become a minimalist. And I hope I've given you some tips, some ideas, maybe something to think about for your own life. Thanks for your time. Have a great day.